Hey guys, subscribe for daily content, and if you're shopping for gear, make sure you check out the description for the newest items at some of the very best online retailers. There's also links for some of the items that I personally recommend. Thanks!
What's going on YouTube? Metal Complex here, and today I've got a really fun, really exciting knife unboxing video to share with you guys. I already know what's in here. Well, you do too, it's Kunwu, but I know the exact knife that's in there because I've already been in it. So if you're familiar with my channel, you know that usually I unbox things blind and just sort of react to them. I've been in this. I got tempted over the weekend. I showed it on a live stream. But I still want to share my initial thoughts with you because this is a super cool knife from Kunwu. Thanks so much to Kunwu for sending it in. Thanks to my patrons for supporting me. Please make sure to follow me on Instagram at metal_complex and on TikTok at the_metal_complex. Okay, so this is, I think, their newest model, and it is an evolution of a model that they have done in the past. So just so everybody knows, if you're new, right, if you've stumbled in here from YouTube Shorts, this is not a knife review. My knife reviews are much more in-depth, and there are specific elements that I go over after having experienced the knife and thoroughly, I'd say thoroughly, carried it and experienced it for a while. But anyways, this is the Kunwu S Tao II, which I actually have the original, which I'll compare with in the final review. This is a substantial upgrade over the standard one. There are so many amazing elements with this knife, and I'm really glad actually that I took it out and kind of looked it over. I was pretty overwhelmed by this when I took it out of the box. By the way, I learned that this texturing is called honeydew texturing, which is really interesting. I don't think I've ever seen that on a knife before, but it is a really pleasing or aesthetically pleasing texture, and it's also very nice to the touch. It's not super aggressive. In fact, it's not aggressive at all. It's actually very smooth, just very light, just subtle feeling in those, various peaks and valleys, I guess. But access to the deployment area is superb, and the blade is, oh boy, it's DLC Vanax. Man, what a good looking knife. I compared it with the S Tao, the standard one on the live stream. So the entire handle is taller, the blade is taller. The behind the edge thinness, which I didn't talk about, is actually better. Obviously, this is a true satin DLC finish on top of Vanax, so it ain't gonna rust. Let's just put it that way. But Vanax, one of my favorite steels of all time. Very cool. The contouring on this is superb. It is superb. So good. I find this to be substantially more comfortable than the standard one. And my favorite change is Kunwu's pocket clip. This pocket clip has been slightly altered, to my knowledge. But what we have here is a supremely knocked down bill, and then we have actually a radiused top area to the pocket clip. We still have the ramp. This pocket clip is beautiful in terms of the position on the handle, which is less than 50%. That's my preference there. But your standard grip, that pocket clip is, it disappears. It disappears. I'm still aware that there's a pocket clip there, but it is so comfortable in the hand. And then choked up, this is absolutely beautiful. You have this flat area right here, which I think actually creates, so that's part of the flipper tab, which works beautifully, by the way, and the action completely falls shut. Incredibly easy to reverse flick, incredibly easy to thumb flick, and even the front flipper is just in the perfect position. This is a beautifully fidgety knife, but everything feels very purposeful. And everything looks really good, and they kept the Damascus pivot collars there. So cool. So when will this be available? I don't know exactly when you guys are watching this because the content's pre-recorded. I'm going to guess it's going to be on their website soon. I am aware that this is a more expensive, like this Kunwu I think is priced higher than anything else that they've released to my knowledge, right? But it is contoured. They do have a new texturing, right? And on top of that, we are looking at DLC Vanax, which tends to be the most expensive blade that they make, right? So I don't know what the final price tag is. I want to wait till it hits their actual website, which by now it might be there. So use the link. The links down in the description will go to their website. But it won't surprise me if this is over $300. But the the final package here is absolutely amazing. They make a lot of great knives. The Padre has been my favorite model from them. But as far as the frame lock end of things goes, I'm not sure if I like this or the Padre more. I am such a sucker for contouring. This really makes a huge difference. And if you don't know, the machines that they use to contour titanium are so much more expensive. And that is a more expensive process from every angle. So, you know, a lot of times people will reduce what they think the price should be to the materials alone. And that is such a small part of the total equation. We have to, you know, say, well, it's just a flat piece of titanium. I mean, are you doing a pattern in it? Are you contouring it? Are you coating it, right? And, you know, obviously, are you getting your tolerances like super, super tight? All those teeny tiny little things matter. So the difference between making a scale like this and making a flat, you know, just like a flat piece of titanium that's kind of shaped like a rectangle, there's a huge difference, right? Just the total amount of milling time and all of that has to be accounted for. So this is factually, whether you prefer it or not, right? Personal preferences aside, it's factually going to cost more money to do this. And to my knowledge, they are DLC coating the frame too. I'm a big fan of that texturing. Pocket clip obviously can go on both sides. The only thing that's slightly disappointing, just off first impressions, because I've literally only had this for the weekend, is the fact that they didn't do a backspacer. I would have loved to see a backspacer back here, but they just did standoffs, which is fine. I'm glad that we got a milled clip and not a wire clip on this. I think that's great. But I legitimately love everything else about this knife. I think it's really a spectacular design, and I think massively improved from the standard one. Real quick, I'm going to give you guys a measurement. I know I should have done that initially, but we have an overall length of 8 1/4 inches. Blade length is coming in slightly over 3 1/2. Cutting edge is about 3 1/8. Couple of size comparisons. I actually gotta get off the old. This is what I keep all of my size comparison stuff in off camera. So let me open this up. I don't actually have a ton of room here. Let's put it up against a couple of things that you guys probably recognize that are similar in size. The Benchmade Group Tilliner, in this case, the Ritter Hogue. How about the Spyderco Shaman? We never used that one for a size comparison. The AD10, it's probably a good one. Anything that's on the bottom is going to appear a lot larger than it actually is just because of the angle of the camera. Spyderco PM2, right? So we're in this ballpark. AD10, obviously quite a bit bigger, but we're in the same general ballpark as a lot of those. Yeah, I don't think that we need to keep going there. Let's weigh it real quick, and then I think that'll be it for the initial video. So the weight, do we have internal milling? Oh, yes, we do. We absolutely do. Weight on this guy, 5.2 ounces, no surprise there. Gonna be a little heavy for some people. For me, that's right about, I think, usually I draw the line, well, I say I draw the line. Most of the time, depending on the knife, I draw the line at about 6, but I've been known to go over that. So this isn't a problem for me, might be a problem for some of you. I am a huge fan of this knife. I think this is a spectacular, such a good looking knife. And this is what I love, is we can, you know, Kunwu has taken a knife profile that has been done so many times. Like, they know that this isn't like, oh my gosh, it's a brand new unique handle shape, or oh my gosh, it's a brand new totally unique blade shape. No, but they've managed to take these two things and give it so much more personality and so much more cool factor than what we have seen from so many other companies doing, you know, very similar knives in the past. This is just awesome. Probably you'll have a bunch of different options for scale texturing, and, you know, maybe they'll have like a tumbled version and a satin version. I don't know, right? But for now, super cool. Expect to see a full comprehensive review on this knife a few weeks down the road. Thanks again to Kunwu for sending that one in. Links for Kunwu knives in general down in the description. Please make sure to follow me on Instagram at metal_complex and on TikTok at the_metal_complex. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like. If you'd like to check out my other content, I do, of course, have lots of videos of knives that are either expensive or inexpensive that I do or don't like, so check those out. And if you enjoy all my content, go ahead and click on that Metal Complex logo right there and subscribe because there's definitely more coming. Thanks again for watching, everybody, and have a great day.